Hello everyone. My. Let's talk about climate change activists. I don't know. What is wrong with people's minds? It's like some people do not have anything to do. You can look at what type of people they are. Let me show you something. I don't know, I might show a clip on this. Look at this. They're doing what? The worst thing that they do is blocking roads. Because you find, and here is the thing. Most of the time you find that there is no police to try to bring in the order. Maybe police are called later and they come. But why can't countries just put a law? There is no doing all your campaigns or demonstrations, whatever you want to do on the street. Leave the streets alone. Don't do it. Don't tamper with public safety. Because what would you do if someone is so fast and someone just jumps in front of the car to try to stop that person because they are trying to speak up on climate change and the use of fossil fuels, and then that person gets killed? Who is in trouble? You find that they'll put the driver in trouble. When the nation itself needs to change the laws on this type of stupidity, you're not supposed to allow such things to be going on. Yes, if you are an activist, go do it somewhere else, not on the street, because you are endangering people's lives right there. Imagine, you have seen the videos I put up where a car brakes so suddenly, but the one who is coming behind didn't know or understand that that was going to happen. They just go ahead and hit. So this is where the driver in front sees that, oh, someone has jumped in front of the car, stops. The one behind doesn't know anything, just go ahead and hits that car.
Glad you moved.
Yep, that's why I moved.
Oh boy.
So you are endangering people's lives. Governments should have been very serious on this. USA, it happens. And you have also this other group, the Black Lives Matter. All those are not supposed to be allowed to be on the street. Go do it somewhere. Go to a stadium, whatever. Go in the jungle, wherever. Go do it there. See that? Sometimes I wish if I was just a president of these nations. I'm just writing it down. The law doesn't have to go through, if it's US, goes through Congress, Senate to be passed. No. I just write it down. I say, no more on the street. You do it on the street, straight 1 month in jail. You are released. You are caught again, 5 months. It will keep increasing. That's what I would just do, because such should not be allowed. You wonder, what human rights are you talking about? Is it not human rights? Someone is going for work, you stop them. Don't they have rights to go to the destination they're going to? So what human rights are you talking about? You cannot make someone's life difficult, and then when you are arrested, you say, human rights. No, no, no. Hypocrisy must not be allowed to flourish, because it is hypocrisy when they go on the street and impede drivers from going to their destinations, whatever business they're going to. Those drivers are human beings. They have rights, the same rights you have if you were in their place. So if you are arrested, don't say human rights. No, no, no. What about human rights of the drivers you are obstructing or putting in danger? So people, let's take a look at some of this craziness and foolishness that should not be allowed. You've seen some drivers, someone will say, he's beating them, human rights. No, no, no. People get frustrated. You don't know what that person is going through, and you try to block them. And then when they beat you up, you say, someone is beating you up. What are you doing? You started it. It's like starting a fight. And then when you are beaten up, you say, oh, this person beat me up. Don't start it if you do not want to have the results that it might bring. So, are these activists allowed to do whatever they are supposed to do? Climate change, if they believe that there is climate change, yes, they are allowed. They can go do it in the forest, because it's the forests that are in trouble, they are trying to say. They can go and just maybe stand across the road where the oil production is being done. Do not block the road. Do not do anything. Just stand there with your banners. That can be allowed. But why are they allowed to do all this stuff? You will see some of them, they chain themselves to trailers. A lot of craziness. People, sometimes do not look at those who do not agree, or those who do not like certain people. Like me, I don't like climate change activists and their behavior. You point a finger at me, but you do not see what they are doing. Look at activists when it comes to food, like eating livestock. The vegans, see how they are so violent.
Stop! Are you serious? Stop! Are you serious? Call the police! Stop!
Are you done yet? Are you done yet?
Stop! Are you serious? Stop it! Are you serious? He's deaf. He can't hear you. Like, really?
Everybody go inside. That's what got it. We'll get hit by a rip.
I got every single thing I'm fucking doing. I got Mason, yes.
Get off fucking light. Get off fucking light. Go get a fucking job. Get out of here.
Oh, that job, you stupid asshole. It's silent. Where are you? Don't put that on my... No. I need a voice.
But why does it... I don't know how I can put it. Why do you have to be violent when you're trying to stand for a certain cause that you believe? You say we are supposed to be vegans, and then you are so violent towards other people who are eating it. You say cars shouldn't be using fossil fuels. You are violent. Why should that be? That is violence, going on the street and blocking people. That is violence. You see that? So let's just jump in without further ado. See what's up with all this craziness. Let's take a look.
If you say my wrist
Stand up.
New oil licenses, we will get off the road.
Out the way! Out the way! Out the way! Out the way! I had to go to the hospital for an appointment. I'm dead. Let me get him. Get him off. Get off the road then.
You're hurting these people.
We'll hit you. Yeah? Move out the way. It's ambulances.
Oh my god.
Come on, mate. Come on, annoying. You haven't told me to get away. I'm annoyed, and these I'm sitting there blocking the rest of London off.
No, we're talking about, no, what I mean is, you're going too close.
Mate, you're taking the they're blocking the rest of London down.
What you're seeing right now behind me with these police officers, this is the government response to this crisis. So this what you can see in front of you, this is the government's response. Okay?
Take it seriously. I'm not shouting. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that, my love. Please, handle your business. Handle your business, my love. Okay, cool.
That's my job, then you can.
No, but you've been sitting there for 6 hours and find out how his day's going. Shut him out. They've got the ball.
Which is fair enough. And what by doing this football?
Right way of going about. Yeah, tell the silly wallies. Do you think this is the right way? You're trying to go work around a living. That's straight outside the office. Look at all that. Look at all that. Look, we're all trying to earn a living and you're stopping. It's all right for you. It's all right for you.
That is assault. That's illegal.
That's not.
It is illegal to assault a person.
This is illegal. This is illegal.
Got nothing better to do. Get shot. You must. Honey's enough. Bring it to work.
Listen, someone, I will start moving these people myself. Right, who wants to help me? I don't give a flying at your television.
Let the prison go! No. These people are stopping lovely people going to work.
We are all lovely
hospital.
people.
You can do this in a way that doesn't affect the public, and that's the truth.
Go home and
No,
write
I
a
go
letter.
into the hospital
Very angry.
myself, because I'm sick of you all the time.
And we're sick of these people killing us.
There's other ways of doing it. What
No,
you're
there
doing
isn't,
is wrong.
sweetheart.
Others is an increasing sign that people are taking matters into their own hands against activists who cause major disruptions. A new video that dropped this week showed the same thing, where an older lady attempted to drag an activist off the road in Berlin.
It's a human being.
The day before that, this video went viral of a climate protester being dragged away by police.
Okay, son? Roper? Me?
A few weeks ago, this video surfaced, which showed a frustrated cyclist trying to help out angry motorists who were beeping the protesters by literally shoving a man out of the way. A similar situation happened to a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old protester by Berlin police in September. A few days before that, an 80-year-old climate activist from the group was carried away by a road blockade in Berlin. The day before that, a protester was filmed screaming as police officers tried to remove her from the road.
Meint ihr nicht zufrieden?
Müssen die Menschen nicht wehtun?
Beine hoch. Beine hoch. Stell einfach mal auf. Einfach aufstellen. Ja. Aufstellen. Beine hinstellen.
An intense physical altercation erupted at the start of September when Last Generation activists were blocking a road in the German city of Mannheim, which prompted an angry driver to assault a few of the activists. Now, these altercations between everyday people, police and climate protesters aren't only happening to the group Last Generation. Over the last few months, the climate activism group Just Stop Oil has also been blocking traffic and orchestrating public chaos. Just Stop Oil has been busy protesting against the UK government signing on any new oil and gas projects. Last night, 5 members of the group disrupted a show of Les Mis on the West End by storming onto the stage with banners, with 4 of them actually locking themselves to the stage. The situation didn't stop the crowd from singing "Do You Hear the People Sing," while a few people shouted out, "Go home."
So voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you. Pedestrian traffic. You are ordered to disperse to the safety of pedestrian traffic. If you do so voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you. If you refuse to disperse, you will be placed under arrest and charged with disorderly conduct. Listen. charges will be placed against you. If you refuse to disperse, you will be placed under arrest and charged with disorderly conduct. This is the New York City Police Department. If you do so voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you. Under arrest and charged with disorderly traffic. If you do so voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you. If you refuse to disperse, you will be placed under arrest and charged with disorderly conduct.
Because if you sit down in front of it, if you sit down in front of it.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
Everyone sit down! Sit in the line.
Stop!
Scary.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
People on the ground, oh, idiots.
Stop!
Is everybody okay?
Stop!
Art or activism? Two climate activists put red handprints on a famous Claude Monet painting that was on display in Sweden. Then they glued themselves to the protective glass covering the artwork. Their point was to protest the need to ban peat mining and restore the wetlands. The pair were arrested. Monet's work was unharmed.
Dozens of activists glued their hands to the roads in Germany to protest climate change. The German activist organization Last Generation blocked traffic on multiple highways. Police officers worked to detach the protesters' hands from the roads before carrying them away. At least 87 people were arrested.
Climate protesters taking their activism to the street this week, completely blocking traffic on the I-495 beltway in Montgomery County, Maryland, and demanding that President Biden declare a climate emergency. Now, that protest prevented a parolee from getting to work. Watch.
Yo, I'm about to get locked up for 54 years with my parole if I don't make my job. And y'all are so inconsiderate. 495. Yo. We're live streaming right now. Come on, man. One lane. I'm asking one lane before I go to the prison, bro. One lane before I... Biden declare
Now, that parolee was arrested after he became agitated and tried to physically remove, allegedly, some of the protesters. Richard, you and I were talking offline. The restrictions that these parolees are under. There is no room for mistakes, inadvertence, being late. We've both seen people return to prison for much less than showing up late to the job. There is honor in him trying to comply with the, at times, draconian restrictions. There is no honor in blocking the freeway and blocking people from getting to work.
No, I believe in the First Amendment protest, but I actually agree with you here. I actually wrote a story about this for Forbes I had a roundtable of returning citizens and really zeroing in on some of the problems they face once they've already sort of done their time. A lot of them face problems with finding housing because nobody wants to give a returning citizen housing because you have to check that I was once a felon. They have a hard time finding jobs. And on top of that, many of them, because they have to deal with parole officers, it's really hard. And they face these unsurmountable odds trying to reintegrate to society. And I think, they need a little bit more grace, and the system has no grace to give them.
That's right. The social stigma is absolutely real of being a convict. But Harris, the point remains that here now, we don't know the outcome actually for this gentleman. We know that he was arrested. We don't know whether we know actually he didn't make it to work. We don't know now. He might be facing 54 years. And that other guy remains stalwart. He said, no, until Biden declares an emergency, I will not budge.
So I see this, I won't say differently, but kind of turned on its head a little bit. What if you're in the back of that pack, that traffic pack, and you're having a medical emergency? Mm-hmm. Like there are a lot of things that could be going on besides the one guy that happens to get upset enough to be out in the middle of the intersection trying to move the people because he's got to get to work on restrictions on being paroled. But what about the rest of us? I mean, yes, the First Amendment, yes, you can protest peacefully, but he was right. You got to have a lane. Like, what if an ambulance needed to get through? Are these people just going to sit there and stay the problem? Would the cops then have to move in and move them? I mean, there has to be some common ground on what peaceful protesting looks like. We broke it in May of 2020, right? I don't even think we have any idea now. But we need to get back to it and figure it out.
That's right. And we've gone from the violent of 2020 to the absolutely ridiculous. People gluing themselves to Starbucks counters.
Right. I know, that was gross.
To masters artworks. I mean, the naked bike rides, like the list goes on.
Truckers blocking roads.
Yeah, so much. Oh, wait, whoa.
It's because these people it's because they're trying to find religion, right? I mean, you look at every study, people on the left are less religious than the right. So that's what this is about. It's about finding
And they think
religion,
it's in the intersection?
Burning cities down in 2020 in the name of Black Lives Matter, firebombing pregnancy centers in the name of abortion, and then doing this in the name of climate, right? It's about finding religion in the form of activism in politics rather than God.
But let's be very clear. I think we've seen First Amendment protests on both sides of the aisle get a little bit raucous.
We don't ride bikes naked on the right. Sorry, Richard. Actually, I've never done a naked bike ride. I never glued myself to a Van Gogh painting.
Oh my gosh, but the other side of the couch is saying that they may have. I think it's just you and me, Kelly.
Wait, what?
I think it's just you and me.
They did
Rest on our bikes.
Sorry.
Who looks at these protests and says, Van Gogh painting, gluing yourself to, naked bike ride, I want to be with these people because they're cool. Like, you're undermining your own cause. They also called Biden a failed president, the guys who are about to protest the congressional baseball game. So interesting. You've lost the crazies, Mr. President.
Yeah, well, I guess that's one thing we have in common.
I don't think they ever had them.
But that's it.
Maybe you never had them.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and KellyE on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.
They're at it again, and this time the target is, of all people, Taylor Swift. The climate vandals cut their way in and spray painted private jets at a London airport where the superstar's plane had just landed. Taylor is performing in London for 3 nights. Turns out these knuckleheads picked the wrong plane. It's not Taylor's. The activists say private jets are a major cause of carbon emissions. The new stunt comes one day after they used the same orange spray on Stonehenge, the 5,000-year-old English historic monument. Visitors to the site tried to restrain the 2 protesters, and the stunt has led to worldwide outrage.
When I saw this, I was so angry. I've been to Stonehenge before. It's incredible to see.
It is.
And look at what they're doing.
This is the scene at Stonehenge today. The orange spray has been removed in time for the crowds marking the longest day of the year. And look at this. The same activists were also behind this stunt in 2022 when they threw tomato soup at the Van Gogh painting Sunflowers at a London art gallery.
Security!
Now it's Target Taylor.
Side of the road, but another 2 protesters have just taken their place. That lorry driver is now back up into his cab. I think he's just closing the door and he's about to drive forward, but there are 3 people sat in front of his truck. He's driving forward, Nick. He's just suddenly had to brake because he hit one of them at the front. I mean, I say very, very slowly, but these drivers are doing everything they... Still no sign of police, Nick. Yeah.
Oh, dear darling, it's not going to Please. Right, this is one.
I've lost my job interview because of these lot, yeah.
What was your job interview for?
For a skip driver.
Oh, I'm so
HGV driver, so I'm HGV. Just shortage of HGVs. Look at this lot. None of them work, they've all retired.
And you had an interview this morning?
I've lost it, I've been told I've lost it because I'm too late because of these.
And you lost the job?
Yeah, I'm an hour late because of this lot.
What does that mean for you and how are you feeling?
I've got 2 young children.
That is not the point. Please, home. So look, you're in the middle of a commercial unit. If you You all use fuel in some way or another. How do you think you got your apples? How do you think you get your avocado? How do you think you get sourdough bread? You all use fuel in some way or another. This is ridiculous. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. I don't care if you need to be arrested. Public nuisance. Get out of the way. You think you're helping anything? Yeah. You go outside BP in petroleum. Why are you harming your community? This is your local community, and we're all in the same boat. Go outside BP. Go outside Shell. Go and do this somewhere useful. Everyone says go and do it somewhere else. Mate, I'm picking up my daughter. I don't care about your opinions. I'm picking up my daughter.
protesting, people
Yeah,
trying to get
move
people
out the
all
way. Move them out the way, man.
out. Wildly excessive.
Move them out the way. Yes. You're standing there watching.
I don't give a mate.
Move out the way. You're standing there watching. Can't do that. What?
Don't do it! Thank you guys, thank you. Where are you going to go?
Don't do it.
Where are you going to go?
Obviously, she's not well, mate. She needs to get to the hospital. Get out of the way, mate. Obviously, not set up. Alright? She's not well. Get out of the way.
He said he needs to go to the hospital.
What? Mate, my missus is not well, mate. Yeah, I'm trying to get to the cunts like this doing shit like this. It's my wife, mate. Pricks like this doing shit like this. Have some respect for other people, not just yourself, yeah? There's other people that need to get places.
As soon as the government issues a statement that it will not issue any more fossil fuel licenses, we will go home.
Parce que nous, on travaille, on est posé là. Allez, 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 c'est bon. Non, non, non. Oh, il y en a qui bossent, hein. Bon, il va nous faire son avion, hein. Désolé. Non, 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 allez, allez.
La police, elle a été alertée, non.
Alors, attends, tu vas payer? Tu vas payer pour le... Tu vas payer?
À votre pression, qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
C'est une urgence médicale, bien sûr, c'est une urgence.
Est-ce que c'est une urgence
médicale? Oui, bien sûr. On a ta sûr. Mais une seule fois, tout le monde enlève, tout le monde c'est des malades qui je suis pas une allez, faut les décaler, allez, lève-toi. Lève-toi là. Ouais, je te dis, mon fils, c'est malade. Allez, allez. Allez, on va les coups de la police. Elle n'a rien à foutre de la police. Moi, je vais te dégager. Allez, dégage de là. Dégage de là. Je dis, mon fils, il est malade. Ah, je te dis, arrête de me faire briller. Ah, je suis debout depuis 5 heures du matin, arrête de me faire briller.
Non, non, mais c'est justement.
Get the fuck out! Don't take a fucking picture of me! Poursuis lui, putain, dégage! Attends, je poursuis en justice la partie qui met une vidéo de moi. Dégage! Putain.
Monsieur l'homme, on va vous demander de bouger là. D'accord, donc vous serez interpellé par la suite. Il faut un travail sur la suite. On va faire un pendant, on va pas... D'accord, ok. C'est pas...
So obviously we had the protest that popped up, and so the protest, while people have the right to protest, it did block traffic, which is continuing to be a challenge for us to try and navigate, because protesting is legal, blocking traffic technically is not, and this is a situation that's going on across Canada. This is very much alive right now in Canada. So we had a motorist that proceeded up to the line of the protesters. I think if I remember reading the investigation, the line kind of opened a bit, so he thought it was okay to proceed, started to proceed. His car was surrounded. He had his son in the car. He was a bit scared, didn't know what to do, and so ultimately drove through. No one was injured. We did investigate. We spoke with everybody involved, and I spoke with Vice Chief David Pratt from FSIN about it as well, a few other people, to try and give some context and understand, like, this wasn't a person who said, I'm going to mat it from a block away and blow through this group of protesters. I think he thought he could go through, and when he found out he couldn't, he was surrounded, panicked a little bit, was worried for his passenger in his car, and ultimately drove through. Nobody was hit, nobody was injured. We have spoken to all parties, and again, is it in the best interest to lay a charge there, or just try and help people understand what happened and proceed, again, respecting the rights of everyone?
Guy drove over a motorcycle.
Go get that fucking guy!
Please, this is a protest. Public property, please.
No, you're on public property.
Wait for the cops.
No, we got to get through. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Help
I got
us,
shit
people.
to do.
We got shit to do. Sorry. We got to move this mess.
Whoa. Dude. Whoa.
Oh, we're taking out.
You gotta get one. Go through my kids.
You can't road. You can't block the road.
You're going to hurt someone.
I don't care.
Look, there's traffic coming.
There's people with medical problems here and you want them to be in the sun.
They call the cops.
Yeah.
Call the cops. Call the
Call
cops.
the cops.
Call the cops.
Who says we're not the cops?
Call the cops. Show me your badge. Call the cops. Call the cops.
Lock it. Lock into the entrance right now. Get over here.
People together.
Wait for the cops.
No, the cops are coming. They're right over there.
Right now, baby. Lock in.
These fat trying to stop us from going to Burning Man. Can we help?
You're gonna eventually get there.
Hey, miss, you know what? It's been 4 days.
You're obvious.
Oh, we're not burners?
Wait for the cops.
You're putting my life
Oh, well
at
then you
risk.
can fuck off.
Whoa. This is Burning Man.
Yes.
This is Burning
No,
Man.
this is a road.
This is Burning Man. Are you really burners? This one government onto the floor. This is This is a democracy. You have a right to protest.
Baby,
Get the
calm
cops.
down. Lock
Get the
yourself
cops. So you.
Calm. Lock yourself in.
Give me the
I'm
back
staying
door.
here. Come on.
So you're going to believe like human beings then, and then you're out here, you're like an animal. Look at this rot coming out. This is a democracy.
Yeah, it's a democracy. We have a lot of people that you're on the road. And you guys are doing...
Are you a burner?
This is how we're trying to wake up the
Highway patrolmen, but like, you guys are up the highway.
Okay. You don't seem like you're in your official capacity.
No. You don't seem like you're in an official capacity if you're blocking it, but...
This is not how we do it. Tell me how we do it.
I don't know.
Baby, lock in and shut up, please.
How are we gonna
Lock
turn the world
in.
doing this, man?
Every change in society came from civil disobedience. All of them.
Of course it does, man, but...
Who's the highway patrol off duty? No, just here. Is there a highway patrol?
We're waiting for a call.
What's going on? Hey.
Yes, we'll get it.
We are attached.
Well, you change yourself
Get
to
out
it.
the
We're
way. You
moving
guys are
it.
causing traffic and traffic jam and people can get hurt like this. You want
it outside?
Get out the way.
You are getting hurt because of climate change. Look at what's happened in Maui. Look at what's happening right now in Canada.
We gotta get to Reno. Get out the way. Get out the way.
You are getting hurt by the system. Everything.
Okay, well, you
Hey,
can
hurting me.
Well, you change yourself to it. Come on, dude.
Move. You guys they need to get through.
Your marketing
Take all of you out. You better move. You're gonna know that.
Get out now! Get out! On the ground! All of you on the ground now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Don't move!
Give me your last name and date of
So
birth.
who's ready to get the gun? No one has a gun.
We have no weapons at all.
Officer, will you tell me where you
We're environmental protesters. Please.
Trespassing on tribal land.
Please.
Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
Please.
Our friend is getting hurt. She was just standing here. What the?
He's hurting me.
What's the badge number?
Oh. Wait.
or Freedom News TV.
What is Freedom News?
This is a climate emergency. This is a climate emergency.
No charges tonight for the driver of this pickup truck who continued to drive through protesters last night, even as they pounded on the hood of the car and ran alongside it. We first told you about this just moments after it happened as breaking news last night at 6. Today, our Derek Lewis talked with some of those protesters who say they're not surprised, but this won't stop them.
Protesters fighting for change found themselves fighting traffic Monday night. They tried to stop a pickup truck from driving straight through them.
We had the street blocked off. We had marshals that were put in place and trained to keep us safe in various ways.
About 100 people were out protesting in front of the Durham County Jail, many of them standing in the street without a permit.
Protests in general are just a symbolic way of showing that the people are not happy.
On Tuesday, police said the driver will not be cited for pushing his truck through the crowd.
I'm not surprised that a 4x4 could run through 12 human beings and the cops not even flinch.
In an email, Councilwoman Jillian Johnson asked police if there are any plans to pursue charges, adding, "It is my understanding that simply standing in the road does not give drivers the right to intentionally run you over." When asked why the protesters didn't have a permit, Jackson says her group, Durham Beyond Policing, does not work with police.
Yeah, we don't condone police assistance.
She says she doesn't know what charges the driver should face, but this incident is not going to stop future protests.
In terms of moving forward, we're going to continue to show resistance because we have no choice.
And no one was injured during this incident, but a bill just passed in the House last week that says a driver who hits a demonstrator on a public street during a protest could avoid any liability for that person's injuries. In Durham, I'm Derek Lewis, CBS North Carolina.
What's it from? Huh? No, go for it. No, go for it. Stay there. Don't listen to them. You know what? I'm from the Wandsworth Bridge Road Association, so I support this action. This is brilliant. Bridge, take another bridge, guys. Guys, take another bridge.
Mate, stop my team. Move out the way. Come on. Come back in there and take this one. Come on. Come on. I have to go. Can you move, please?
Out. Get out of the fucking street. Fucking right, get out of the fucking road, Look, we're just right in front of us. Park over there. Park over there so we get through.
Take another bridge. It's very easy.
We can't do that, we can't reverse. Let us go through.
I'll help you reverse.
Look, make your line over there.
I'll help you reverse.
Make your line over there, let it go through. Let's take another bridge.
Okay, we're going to go back. We go the other bridge. Take another bridge.
Get that one, playboy.
I can help that.
Fucking straight. Hey, you, I've got a fucking job to do. Get out of the road, you silly cunt.
Take another bridge, guys. Come on.
Look, why don't you make the line over there?
So then, yeah, I agree.
Make the line there.
Okay, let's back these cars up and we'll make the line
Just
there.
go and sit behind them cars. Then people can take other way. We're stuck here.
I'll direct everyone up.
Just sit over there.
Mate, do you have any sympathy with the protesters?
No, I fucking ain't. I've got children to feed, mate, and a business to run.
That would be unfair to listen. That's unfair. No, your boss sacking you would be unfair to listen.
What's it like? It's fucking work. I'm late for work. This is how you work.
This is how it works. You're very It's nothing filming. I suggest.
Okay, so an hour, 2 hours all day. About how long?
Sit over there, people take another route.
Pardon?
Yeah, the police exactly. So just dive everyone the other way.
Get up, mate.
Yes, but why do I die for her?
Yeah, I know.
First
So I was going to help you do this. I was going to help you do that.
On the roundabout. Then people take another route.
I understand this is a headache, but you know, they're just off my road and there is a problem.
These fucking pricks. Let's keep it out, man. Keep it off the road. Come on, let's get him out. Come on, ladies. Come on. Keep him out the road. Let's see, fucking move like we're fucking
I'm out the way. Out the way! I'm out the way, man. Move out the way.
needs to get through it. Please.
There's fucking a hospital over the bridge as well. Right, can each one of you just grab one of them each and move that lorry in front? Yeah? Do that. They're doing it everywhere. They're doing it fucking everywhere. Yeah, you'll have to. You'll have to. Yeah, everyone start fucking going. Get everyone there. We need one person. Come on, when my missus kids on fucking 8, so I'll get sacked.
Hold them here. Stay there.
Don't get some more.
You can't be fucking sorry. How the fuck you sorry? There's a fucking hospital over the bridge and that, man. Don't be a fucking idiot. Ambulance, no, fuck off.
It's at the road, fucking ambulance.
Get out of the way now. Fucking idiot. Get out of the way. Get out of the road.
Ambulance.
Fucking
Move, you stupid bitch.
fucking arsehole. Yeah, get out of the way, man.
Man.
Fucking idiot.
Are you waiting to get by?
Of course he's waiting to get by. What fucking stupid question is that? You fucking idiot. He asking if he's waiting to get by.
There's a fucking ambulance, you stupid prick. Get out the road. Look, there's a fucking ambulance. See it? Get out the fucking road. Get out the fucking road. You're not listening. Fuck it. It's an ambulance. Right, ambulance, mate. Get through.
Oh, mate, you're a fucking dickhead. Go. Mate, go. Just go. Just drive over him, mate. Just go. Yeah, go. Run them down. Run them over. Run them down. Get the fuck out of the way. Just get the fuck out of the way. You get run over. Just get out of the way. No! Move! Stay there! I don't understand. Just stay here. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stay back. Get back. Good. Right, you bring it on the road. Right. Fucking get out of the road. Come on.
Same here, please. The blocking roads, you can get the sales guy and everyone else. People on the site.
Remember, I've spoken to you already, haven't I?
Domestic violence victims, stabbing victims, can't go to them, can't do them, to do them due. I'll forget anything.
Mate, we've got loads of units coming, they can start dealing with that. Get back.
I guess we go on the heli.
Actually, yeah.
Still taking
How can we get?
I'm right here. I know.
Okay, and then if you notice, the driver gets out of the initial mob, but gets down to another intersection, and then there's video of what occurs down there. So take a look at this.
Motherfuckers, where you going now? He not going nowhere now. He not going nowhere now. Hold up, hold up. Hold up. Hold up. He not going nowhere now. He not going nowhere now. Let's go! Don't worry, Dennis, stop him! Hey, watch out! Motherfucker just ran.
Okay, so the scenario is, what can you do if, God forbid, you are in your car, which is suddenly surrounded by an angry mob? Before we can get to the answers, let's get the basic ground rules down. Now, I'm going to use Washington law because this is Washington gun law, and it's the one I know off the top of my head. I have geeked out on self-defense laws all around the nation. And with a few exceptions, this is going to be generally consistent with what occurs in your state. However, and the caveat I always give is, please consult with local counsel because every local law could have a nuance that could change the factual scenario. Now, here we go. What we know, self-defense in general, okay, is that we can use force to defend ourselves so long as the force we use is necessary, reasonable, both objectively and subjectively, and proportional. We also know that we cannot use lethal force unless, 1, you are in imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury. 2, someone else in your presence is in imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury. 3, a felony is being committed upon your person. Or 4, a felony is being committed inside your home. And then finally, since we're not going to be talking about using a firearm or anything like this, we are talking about driving away, but arguably and possibly driving into or over individuals. So we need to define what is considered deadly force. In most jurisdictions, deadly force is defined as, deadly force means the intentional application of force through the use of firearms or any other means reasonably likely to cause death or serious physical injury. Okay, so like I've always taught before, anytime we're using a firearm, that will always be analyzed under the use of deadly force. There are other inanimate objects, however, not designed to be deadly weapons, but if used that way, are very effective. The kitchen knife, the baseball bat, and yes, the automobile. And so what we need to understand is if we are surrounded by an angry mob, and we decide to just step on the gas and get out of there, any reasonable person would understand that that could result in serious physical injury or death to other people. So knowing that that may be the case, when, if ever, can it be lawfully justified? Okay, So now that we got the general rules of self-defense, now that we got the general rules of when we get to use lethal force, now that we understand what lethal force is, let us also remember that when it comes to defense of property and property only, we are normally, with a very few exceptions, we are normally not permitted to use lethal force to defend only property. And the reason, of course, is that if you go back and look at the 4 ways in which you can typically use lethal force, it requires that a human being be in imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury. So even though you may want to shoot the people who are beating the hell out of your car, you probably do not have the right to do so. So, here's the general rule here, okay? If you get surrounded by an angry mob and they're just pounding on the car and nothing more, are they damaging the car? They most definitely are. Do you have the right to use reasonable force to defend your property? Yes, you do. Would be getting out of the car part of that reasonable force? I think that honestly, if you talk to the tactical people, they'll tell you that's the worst thing you can do. You are stepping into an angry mob where you are clearly outnumbered. Could you drive forward in a slow, methodical manner, understanding that that may cause infliction of greater damage to the car, but could you drive in a slower manner, thus no way endangering anyone from being run over, until you were in a safe location? Yes, that would be not only an attempt to retreat, which you are under no duty to retreat in most states. Again, check with your local jurisdictions, because some states actually do require you to retreat. But if you're in an automobile, there's really only one way to retreat, and that's actually to drive away. So if we're just talking about pounding on the car, we cannot be using lethal force because we are only defending property. Now, when the windows start getting smashed out, we're getting to a different point now. Because now we got glass flying, and we obviously have objects that are flying in through the windshields in order to break them, okay? This does begin to create a significant risk of death or certainly serious bodily injury. And anyone who's ever known who's gotten glass into their eyes or anything like that, that can result in significant and permanent injury. At this point now, also another argument could be made that, hey, if they're smashing out the windows, what's next? They're gonna probably try to reach in and get me. So at this point, driving away in a more rapid fashion could be legally justified, again, based upon your jurisdiction. Now, if we've gotten through, the car's been smashed on, the windows have been smashed out, and they're reaching in the car to pull you out of the car, that's a whole different story, okay? All bets are off at that point, okay? You absolutely are an imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury, and you are absolutely having a felony committed upon your person. It is a carjacking, it is a robbery, it is a felony assault, it's probably all of the above. And let us remember that if there are other individuals in the car, passengers, children, whoever, okay, then you have other people in your presence which are also now in imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury. But this is where it's going to get a little trickier for you, and this is why there is that old adage, it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6, and there may be some truth to it. But understand this, a jury's going to have to find that your use of force was reasonable both subjectively and objectively. And let me explain the difference. Subjectively, a jury's going to be told, hey, just put yourself in that driver's shoes. Know what they know, see what they see, hear what they hear. Would you have done the same thing? If the answer is yes, they also have to determine, however, that the use of force was objectively reasonable. That is, we as a society are willing to accept that. So, in certain jurisdictions, depending on the makeup of your jury, even if they subjectively believe that you have the right to use force, they may not be big fans of you plowing over protesters that might be of a similar political leaning. For this gentleman here, as we go back and we take a look, at first I actually thought that he himself was getting pulled out of the car, and at that point I really felt like, hey, he probably could have just taken off. But as it turns out, upon further review, it appears that he himself got out of the car. Bad idea. And I think when he got himself out of the car, he also ultimately ended up getting himself pepper sprayed, because when we take a look at video number 2 here, he clearly is at least exhibiting some signs of having some pepper spray or some mace or something like that having been used on him. Now, in both instances, however, with mob number 1 and mob number 2, it appears that the car is being smashed on, and so the use of lethal force is likely not justified here. But at no point does this gentleman use lethal force. He pulls away from the first mob in a relatively calm fashion until he gets open roadway, and then he gets out of there quickly, which he should do. And then when the second mob again kind of surrounds him at the next intersection, he again makes a U-turn right here. He does so in a pretty safe manner. He makes sure that nobody's in front of him. He never strikes a motorist. There are plenty of them who try to strike him, but he never strikes a single motorist. And I get that all of these people out there who wanted to go out and support a terrorist organization like Hamas are saying, you know, get his plate, get his plate, get his plate, and call the police, call the police. And honestly, I don't think this gentleman has done anything illegal at all. This is an actual pretty measured response. I'm sure the car is completely messed up, but I think this gentleman actually showed great restraint. The moral of the story is, if it's only the car that's being pounded on, you cannot use lethal force. If the windows start getting smashed out, we're probably getting to a point where you may need to. And if they're reaching and trying to pull you or any other occupant of the vehicle out, at that point, yeah, all bets are off. You need to start saving your life and anyone else's in your vehicle. Listen, we'll link up the statutes that apply here in Washington State, so if you guys want to geek out on that, you can do so. If you got any other questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington Gun Law by now. If you don't, that's okay. That information is down in the description box. Also, in the meantime, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay safe.
What happens when a crowd of people and cars come face to face? Spoiler, things get tense. The question is, who will give in first? Today, we're showing 60 moments when cars don't stop for protesters. Let's go. In March 2024, there were protests in Georgia against a law targeting NGOs. This brave woman stood as an example of true resilience. She kept waving the EU flag even though the police used water cannons. And shortly after, other protesters came to her aid. Back in 2017 in Hamburg, the G20 summit triggered mass protests. But not even tear gas scared some of the protesters, like this girl. And the guy wasn't fazed by the strong water stream that the police used to try and knock him down. A man decided to help drivers blocked by protesters and single-handedly scattered them. When you need to take your wife to the hospital, but protesters won't let you through. Good communication skills can really come in handy. Environmental activists mean well, but blocking a trucker's way? Not such a great idea. A protest by environmental activists in Rome spiraled out of control. This guy's bravery vanished real quick when a bulldozer arrived. If you're planning on attending a protest, bring an umbrella. It might come in handy. During this protest, someone took it out on a driver whose plate read "Blue Lives Matter."
Chilling. I wanted to go home. The guy came, he started stalking me, right? I came out the car, and then he started backing out, he started running away. And then he said that the only reason he punched me because I have the Blue Lives Matter plates, right?
Dozens of cars got stuck on the road because activists blocked access to a festival. But the police quickly restored order and did it in an epic fashion. The driver needed to get to the hospital, but no one could convince the protesters to let him through. This is one of the times when breaking the rules is totally justified. This naive driver thought he could drive through an aggressive crowd.
Baby, come on. I'm right here.
But if he were on a horse, he would have had much better chances. Just look at how effective the mounted police unit is during riots after a suspended soccer match. Protesters doused U.S. Secretary of State Blinken's car with liquid. The phrase bold and fearless took a whole new meaning here. Protesters decided that this car shouldn't be on the road and tried to stop it, especially this one woman. But the driver also decided that the protesters shouldn't be on the road and didn't give in. The truck driver plowed through the crowd even despite this. Stubborn activists refused to back down and ended up taking a ride on the hood. This is from January 2024 in New York. A driver tries to make their way through demonstrators, breaking through bicycles and people's bags. Thankfully, no one got hurt.
We got it.
The person behind the camera couldn't understand why people abandoned their cars at the airport entrance. But it turns out it was due to a protest causing a traffic jam.
Oh, there's a protest. That's annoying.
A man was absolutely furious because protesters wouldn't let him drive to his daughter's school.
Idiots! You can't do that! That's against the law! Get away from my car, bro.
Get away from my car!
Eventually, they decided it wasn't worth the hassle and let him through. To break through the protesters, this Portland driver had to knock down a barrier, and he even took someone's motorcycle with him.
Hitting a fence and continuing on. Thankfully, it does not appear that anybody was hurt.
Protesters blocked a highway, but this driver quickly figured it out and set an example for others to follow. A gas station was blocked by people who didn't want it to operate after a shooting the day before. They formed a human chain and many drivers just drove by. But not this one. He engaged with them.
Today, as protesters tried to block access to the gas station where Pellerin was killed. Now, luckily, no one was injured during that encounter right there, but it did lead to a heated...
Aggressive protesters attacked this driver in Minnesota, but despite serious threats, he didn't back down.
Go!
Have a gun cock.
That way!
Go! You guys gotta let him go.
Get him out that way! Go! Hey, get that guy up there!
He's gonna have a gun loaded.
When you're all alone, but your mission is to win the great battle.
Me encanta vivir en Bogotá. La transición entre Bogotá y la muerte es casi imperceptible.
Climate defenders march angered drivers, and honestly, I understand why. This is Israel's Ayalon Highway. In 2019, it was blocked with branches, causing a 20-kilometer traffic jam.
הכל חסום, 20 קילומטר של פקק, 20 אנשים עומדים בחוץ.
Protests in Leipzig on December 12, 2015 got out of control and became dangerous. So the police had to use tear gas and water cannons.
Niemand gibt's mehr, wisst ihr? Die Linken sind das Wasser gar nicht mehr!
The Black Lives Matter protest was peaceful during the day, but at night, even the police couldn't handle it. The driver went way overboard by aggressively forcing their way through the crowd. And later, they were arrested for it. Here's another stubborn driver, but at least no one got hurt.
We see you! We are nothing to see! Pull out your camera! Pull out the cameras now! Pull out the cameras!
A fuel truck driver thought he could push through the protest, but things didn't go as planned.
Whoa! Whoa! Bitch! Oh my God, what just happened?
At first, it seemed like a no-win situation, but eventually, he managed to squeeze through. No car stands a chance against dozens of people lying on the ground. Just look at the scale of the protests that took place on the streets of Los Angeles in 2020, after the police-related death of George Floyd. A man managed to negotiate with the Just Stop Oil activists, and they let him drive through. Big thanks to them for allowing the use of public roads. This driver pulled off the impossible, but it's best not to try that again.
There's a car that's trying to get in. Push it out. Car push through. Oh.
activists glued their hands to Ferrari sports cars at the Paris Auto Show to protest the use of fossil fuels. Who here feels more sorry for the cars than for anything else? Climate activist Greta Thunberg had an incident where she was arrested twice in one day during a protest in the Netherlands. But no worries, she's used to it, and both times she was released. Protesters were very lucky no one was caught in the path of that scooter. This situation was even worse, considering the car involved was a police vehicle.
I'm going to go out a little wider there. We don't want to see anything crazy, but this is now with violence. This is not good at all.
This woman is clearly not a fan of protests. An environmental activist's protest blocked the road on a Roman highway, stranding dozens of cars, and the drivers decided to take matters into their own hands without waiting for the police. There are two types of drivers who encounter protests. The first and the second. This driver aggressively forced their way through the crowd, but they didn't get far. A climate protest clearly didn't go as planned when cars started driving over the grass to get around it.
Platz haben die Autofahrer einen kreativen Umweg gefunden.
This reckless driver completely ignored the crowd of people nearby, but fortunately, no one got run over. This guy confidently drove through without paying any attention to the pleas to stop.
Out the way, Pat.
That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any new videos. See you next time.
I'm sorry. No, not illegal. You are shooting.
Fucking little shit!
Get the head, my
Guys, let's get back.
What kind of people are you? Illegal. Move the car, someone is going to the hospital.
This woman has a real newborn baby, guys.
You make more pollution. If someone is going to the hospital, it's illegal. It's illegal.
Move. Move.
Walk off out of the way.
No.
Was ist mit dir? Wir sind nicht ganz dicht, guck dir die Scheiße doch mal an! Blöde Fotze, Alter! Oh. Darfst du einmal ganz...
Hi, everybody. Yes, as these protests continue throughout California.
This driver shot dead 2 environmental protesters. The retired lawyer was seen in the road waving a gun before 2 were fatally injured. He reportedly said this ends today to the activists who were blocking a road in protest at a copper mine.
Ryan, do you remember this? No, this is the first time I ever been. I didn't even, because I look at the maps and stuff and I was like, didn't seem like there's anywhere I could have fallen, but like, yeah, that was it. That's crazy.
Ryan Knight was paralyzed at a Black Lives Matter protest last summer in Tulsa. A new law in his state could make protesting a lot more dangerous.
So I felt like right around here, huh?
You feel like right?
Damn.
The group had been marching through town with a police escort. The police claimed demonstrators veered off the designated route and onto the highway.
Yeah, actually, we came up that street, didn't we? We had to. Yeah, I don't remember anything. That's crazy.
Videos taken at the protest last year show a chaotic scene. This angle shows some protesters were trying to let the car through before some started attacking it. In the chaos, Knight was knocked over the railing and fell onto the grass beneath the highway.
Next thing I know, I woke up in the hospital with a trach in my throat and I couldn't move my legs or arms or anything.
Truck hit her. Jesus Christ.
Animal rights activist Regan Russell was killed while standing in front of the entrance to Fearman Slaughterhouse.
Halton police are conducting an investigation.
Regan was there telling the truth about what really happens to these animals, and she was killed as a result.
The industry here is very powerful, and it will stop at nothing to make sure that people can't see the horrific conditions that animals are enduring.
The government says it's trying to protect farmers and animals from trespassers.
Bill 156 is a pro-agriculture act. It essentially stops protesters and extremists from giving water to the pigs like we see down here every couple days.
Touching and stopping and interfering with the truck.
They just want us out of the way. The police want us out of the way. The politicians want us out of the way.
Movements have martyrs. That's the way it goes.
This is a moment that is going to reverberate across the whole world, and it has
Truck hit her. Jesus Christ.
Animal rights activist Regan Russell was killed while standing in front of the entrance to Fearman Slaughterhouse.
Halton police are conducting an investigation.
Regan was there telling the truth about what really happens to these animals, and she was killed as a result.
The industry here is very powerful, and it will stop at nothing to make sure that people can't see the horrific conditions that animals are enduring.
The government says it's trying to protect farmers and animals from trespassers.
Bill 156 is a pro-agriculture act. It essentially stops protesters and extremists from giving water to the pigs like we see down here every couple days.
Yeah. Who wants to put up with that harassment and get hassled? Look at this. These people here are illegally watering, touching, and stopping and interfering with the truck.
They just want us out of the way. The police want us out of the way. The politicians want us out of the way.
Movements have martyrs. That's the way it goes.
This is a moment that is going to reverberate across the whole world, and it has.
What's your name?
Regan.
Regan, beautiful activist trying to give water to the pigs.
Animal Save Movement is an umbrella of groups around the world, and what we do is we go to slaughterhouses and we bear witness to animals.
Oh my God.
These animals are suffering, and one of the important things is to acknowledge that they exist.
So what we do is we stop the trucks in the entrance, and then we ask for 2 minutes to be able to give them water, compassion.
And over the years, these truckers understand what we're doing.
2 minutes!
Regardless of if they agree with us or not, they know why we're there.
They have cuts all over them, they're bleeding. I've seen ones with open infections. We've seen pigs passed out from heat, exhaustion.
It's a living, breathing nightmare for the animals.
And the one thread that's always there is that they're terrified. And then we move out of the way of the truck, and the truck goes into the slaughterhouse.
If you look online or if you look in the commercials, it's all these happy animals loving their lives, but that's not the reality.
I didn't know that that's how they lived. How would I know, really? Until somebody goes in and exposes it. It's shocking.
Yes, it is.
So I come every Sunday here.
And Regan wanted the public to see this. She wanted to do all that she could. She was willing to put her own freedom at risk.
People say we're breaking the law by storming. How do you think women got the right? How do you think slavery was abolished? People stood up and broke the laws because they're stupid laws. This is my dad.
We've known each other most of our life. We have been a couple for the last 19 years. I would attend protests with her or rallies. You know, she liked to know that I had her back.
It was all about justice for Regan.
She knew what was right.
What are you feeding to the pig?
And she was basically saying when anyone is suffering, you just do what's right.
Has your breath trespassing?
Horrible suffering and cruelty. Trespassing. That's nothing.
That's kind of her in a nutshell, because she said, if they arrest me, then I'm going to get the story told.
It's private property. How do we know what they're doing in there except that we get video footage of it? They won't let us in because they know that what they're doing is wrong.
The Ontario government is looking to strengthen laws that shield farmers from animal rights activists.
The government says it's trying to protect farmers and animals from trespassers.
We're devastated about Bill 156. They're trying to criminalize whistleblowers.
And these ag-gag bills keep popping up all over the United States and Canada as the industry tries to silence its critics and tries to hide the truth.
One of the only chances that the public has to see the conditions that animals are enduring is during transport. And the industry here will stop at nothing to shut down those videos.
What we also know through doing research is that some truckers here in Ontario have taken a position that Bill 156 somehow entitles them to act in a more aggressive fashion. There's been, I think, a lack of patience and some sense of entitlement when they're encountering these types of vigils.
I thought I'd just do a quick little video here, just to show some things. We are down here at Fearman's. Let me just turn that camera around. Look at them all. 2 minutes. Here's the Pig Safe group. I refuse to block the road for them as it's not my job to witness for their safety. They should take their own safety into their own hands and have a court.
So they find us as opponents to what they're doing.
These trucks have run at us before, and we've had lots of near misses where we've literally had to jump out of the way.
I almost got run over.
When the government passed this Bill 156, I suggested to Regan it might be more dangerous. Maybe the younger generation will figure out something and we'll support them from the side.
After Bill 156 passed, we didn't know how long it would be before the bill came into effect. So people organized an emergency vigil outside of Fearman's, which could have been one of the very last opportunities to legally see what was inside these transport trucks.
And the evening before, we were having a chat about maybe not going at all.
She texted me, she said, "Are you going tomorrow?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to the vigil." And she's like, she was so upset because of Bill 156.
That day in Fearman's, we got there like 9:30. We'd be there for like an hour or two.
This is the pig slaughterhouse in Burlington, Fearman's Port.
So it was basically a typical day, but it was very hot. So our vigil was scheduled to end at 10:30, and at 10:20, I guess, there was this truck that came.
That was the last truck of the day, and we debated even doing it because we were going to leave, and we just said, "Oh yeah, we'll do it."
And you know when they're going to be aggressive because there's different things that they do. But he saw us and went, "Oh." So he went in the left-hand lane. He's like, "If you want to bear witness, you guys come out in the street and do it."
So this trucker just won't come in. So he's forcing us to bear witness in a very, very dangerous place. And he's trying to piss off the other cars.
And we were bearing witness, and it was extremely dangerous. There were cars right behind us.
And then all of a sudden, he burst forward and accelerated.
And he just went from the wrong lane and just accelerated and went straight at her.
Truck hit her. Jesus Christ. No words.
And I got to the other side and I saw her, and she was lying underneath his front tire.
I saw her body, it was cut in half.
Even though my brain said, like, there's no way she's alive, her face was completely white. But I mean, I called 911 because I don't know.
Use the ambulance.
My good friend said there's been an accident, and in a split second, I knew it wasn't good.
It was the most traumatizing thing I've ever seen in my life. And then we all gave police statements.
The witnesses who were there that day made clear observations of the interaction between Regan and the truck. Each one of them was able to make those observations from a different vantage point.
He definitely saw her. He knew exactly what he was doing.
I'm not going to call him, that he intended to murder, but he certainly intended to run at her and scare her, and look what happened.
He knew that he hit her. He saw that he hit her. He dragged her.
And then still didn't get out of the car. I don't know, like as a normal reaction as a human, you would get out and see how you could help, right?
The number one priority for us is to ensure a thorough and comprehensive investigation and an objective outcome at the end.
It's unclear exactly what level of resources were invested, and it appears that some valuable leads were not explored thoroughly or at all.
They never asked me for, my number so they can follow up with me or anything like that. They just took my statement, and that was the last I heard from them.
Superintendent Davis says the investigation is almost complete.
There's no way he could have missed her 40, 50 feet away out in the middle of the road just standing there.
Right now you can see I have a clear line of sight down each side of the trailer because I can see that officer there. I can see the one across on that corner standing there. I can see the corners in front of me, and I can see these people here.
From my footage, like, you can see the truck and where we are, and he was there more than 5 minutes watching her. And he finally decided to drive in and killed her. So, yeah.
Police did not lay criminal charges against the truck driver.
Instead, what they did is they laid a provincial offense charge, which is more like a traffic ticket, but we know that the police do have a videotape of what went down, and there have been many calls for them to release that video to the public.
Activists took their protest to Halton Police headquarters.
Activists rallied to call for more serious charges to be laid in the death of fellow activist Regan Russell.
Regan Russell was violently killed. She was dragged for 50 feet. How is that just careless driving?
It's the position of Animal Safe movement that it would be appropriate right now for the police to proactively release the video to ensure that there's full transparency about what happened that day.
The death has dramatically heated the animosity between Ontario's livestock industry and animal activists.
This incident really touched a nerve with some of these truckers.
It's been very strange to see the counter protests where people are showing up, putting up offensive signs.
They're saying things like Regan committed suicide.
You killed your friend. Let me show you what's behind me. All the counter protesters are here.
You know, when they're giving water to the pigs, you don't know what they're giving. It could be anything. 100%. We have no clue whether it's water, it could be acid, it could be anything. We've seen them do some pretty extreme things in the past, and it's wondering how far they're actually willing to go.
You are definitely not allowed to harass truck drivers in their workplace, but that's what seems to be going on in front of this plant.
It's unreal. This is what we deal with in a civilized society.
Getting real. Getting real.
Join us. That is what Regan would have wanted.
And Tolstoy said, when you see suffering, you have a moral obligation not to turn away, but to get closer, see if you can help, and even if you can't help, to bear witness.